Turkish President Erdogan has denounced student protesters in Istanbul as terrorists. Erdogan has vowed to crack down on demonstrations opposing the appointment of a government loyalist to head Istanbul's most prestigious university. Students and faculty members of the Boğaziçi University have spent weeks protesting against Erdogan's appointment of Melih Bulu, who once ran for a parliament as a candidate for Erdogan's party. The protesters say that the appointment was an affront to academic liberties and called on Bulu to resign as the university's rector. Protests have been going on in Istanbul for weeks. More than 250 demonstrators and protesters were detained following clashes with the police in Istanbul this week itself. Meanwhile, Erdogan has said that his government will not allow mass anti-government protests like the ones that happened in 2013. But Erdogan's pick doesn't intend to resign from his post as rector of the university, which is often described as the Harvard of Turkey. He said his aim was to make Boğaziçi one of the world's top 100 universities. Now, we are being joined by Onur Erim, political analyst. For more on this, Onur, welcome to WION. Thank you so much for giving us your time. So, tell me something. These are students in Istanbul, okay, one of the most important cities in Turkey, students in one of the most prestigious universities of Turkey. And now, just because they are opposing the appointment of Erdogan's faithful or a loyalist in top post, Erdogan describes them as terrorists. So, are terrorists really learning in a Turkish university? What is Erdogan saying really here?
Hello. Well, it's really, I was trying to listen to you very carefully. President Erdogan did not call them terrorists. And verbatim, he asked this question, talking to those who tried to occupy the administrative building of the rector. They were standing outside the doors and trying to
raid the rector room.
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah, his quote was, "Are you students or terrorists trying to raid the rector's room?" These are Erdogan's words. He's calling the students terrorists. What are you talking about?
Well, he's asking a question. Now, you have to bear in mind.
So he's equating students with terrorists. That's what we are saying.
No, you're saying he's blaming them to be terrorists.
Yes, that's what he's doing.
He's asking a question because I don't know if anywhere in the world, if trying to raid a administrative building would not be an act of terrorism.
That's what my question to you, sir. Why is he equating students with terrorists?
Well, he's not. He has no problem, and he had no problems for the past almost 15 days now. Students protesting the appointment of the rector. He did not oppose to that. There has been no interference by the police. By the way,
there has been interference by the police, sir. More than 250 people have been arrested in Istanbul this week itself.
Okay. You're asking me a question.
Yes.
You may not like my answers, but
no, I like your answer. I just wanted to be factual.
I would at least ask you to allow me the courtesy of finishing my answer.
Yes.
This has been going on for more than 15 days. The stand in front of the administrative building of the rectoral offices, it has been only stopped by the university's own security team. Only towards the night, when the curfew was about to start, they could not hold anymore, and they called for the police. Now, bear in mind, of the 154 arrested at that protest for them to try to occupy the rectoral building, only 7 were Boğaziçi University students. Amongst the 154, 16 were in the past acquitted members of terrorist groups. So this has not come out of nowhere. It came out of a very, very good reason. And again, let me ask you, if you would allow me.
Yes, sir, please.
Would you or would you not call a group of people trying to raid and occupy an administrative building an act of terrorism?
Right. So this terror tag is just the latest one that that Erdogan's government has used. Earlier they were called members of the LGBT group, LGBT deviants, and that was you know, as a offense to the LGBT community.
Yeah, he was very explicit about it. President Erdogan said LGBT is a community that I would not recognize. That's because of his religious beliefs. But at no point he has, at any time in his tenure in the last 18 years as the head of the country, has he stopped the protests or the gathering or the right to develop associations or foundations by the LGBT. President is saying I'm against it, but at any point in the last 20 years, can you show me no instance where he has closed down on LGBT foundations, or he has closed down on NGOs of the LGBT, or he has stopped or tried to stop a rightful demonstration rights of anybody, including the LGBT? Now the guy is coming out and saying, "Hey, listen, this is something I am against. I don't think this should be a part of the Turkish culture."
Right.
That's his personal belief. But nowhere can you show me at any time in the history of his tenure for the last 18 years where he has not, given the same rights to LGBT.
So for our viewers, can you just help us understand what is the objection? Why are these students opposing the appointment of Erdogan loyalist in the university?
They are claiming that the rector that's appointed is not known to be a member of the Boğaziçi family. That's to put it simply. As to what that means, I live in Turkey and I follow these pretty closely. I don't even know what that means, because when you look at the past appointments and the past rectors, I shouldn't say none of them, a good number of them are not in the same quote-unquote Boğaziçi family, which to them it means, I think, going to get your undergraduate in Boğaziçi, getting your master's in Boğaziçi, and getting your PhD in Boğaziçi. But mostly and most of all, that you would have really more of a view of social democracy rather than the right wing. I think that's what they mean. Let me also please remind your viewers that since 1982, all of the rectors of all of the universities in Turkey were appointed by the presidents, because the law changed in 1982. So I think this is mainly because that the rector that's appointed has supposedly more of a right view, has supposedly more of a leniency towards towards AK Party. But let us also remind that to your viewers that the rector has spent half his life being in more posts in the opposition, including the People's Republic Party. So I don't know, this guy is close to AK Party.
Okay, so there is unrest in the university. You know, protests continue. More than 250 people have been detained. They have been, compared with terrorists as well. Meanwhile, this event has drawn international attention. US has lent support. US State Department says, I quote, "Even speech that some may find uncomfortable is a crucial component of vibrant functioning democracy. United States stands shoulder to shoulder with all those fighting for their fundamental democratic freedom." Any reaction from Erdogan government on this US statement? US is a NATO ally.
I haven't heard anything as of yet, but I would say, especially in the last few months and the last few years, U.S. probably would be the one of the few or the last that actually would have the right to talk about democracy or try to export democracy to Turkey or anywhere else. But I do understand the U.S.'s point on this. As you know, Boğaziçi University is the first university established by the U.S. outside of the U.S. borders. So they also feel they have some ties to the roots and the fundamentality of the university. I don't know, but you know what? They should be the last guys to speak about democracy anywhere in the world.
Right. Onur Erim, political analyst, thank you so much for joining us from Istanbul, getting your perspective on the unrest that we are seeing in Istanbul. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.